Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? I'm Peter Rosenberg.
What's up? This is Cypher Sound.
Hey, Cypher, can you get off your phone? We're doing an interview.
I'm putting an Instagram picture of my white grandmother.
Oh, good. Speaking of white people, Steve-O's here.
Steve-O!
Yeah.
How are you, Steve-O?
I'm good, man.
When people introduce you now, will you always forever have Steve-O from Jackass? Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I like to think that that Steve-O does the trick a lot of the time, you know? I see, like, you know, if something silly goes on TMZ, I noticed a while back, it's like, wow, they just call me regular old Steve-O.
Oh, instead of Steve-O from Jackass?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but then again, that's not like, I mean, I'm never going to beat the stereotype.
Thing,
I don't know
man.
that I want. I don't know that I want it.
Right?
Yeah, I think I'm cool with being Steve-O.
I saw when it was on our calendar, because I wasn't part of the conversation of having you here, and when I saw it on the calendar, it said Steve-O. I asked, but assumed. I said Steve-O from Jackass? So I knew it was you.
I don't know that
probably.
there's really any competition
In the
but it's
Steve-O
so funny.
department.
Well, no, but Steve-O's a nickname for Steve. Like
Yeah.
Steve-O.
Yeah,
Steve-O.
yeah,
But you're
it's
like,
exactly
you're the
right.
Steve-O, yeah.
Right. I remember getting I was on the phone with my lawyer and I was doing some show or other and it was the Betty White show and I did a guest spot on it.
Oh,
My lawyer called me up to ask me, do I want to be credited on the show as Steve-O or do I want to be Steve Glover? You know? And I was like Steve-O. You know?
Is your last name Glover?
Yeah.
Well, that answers the question that I have to say. Is that even you?
Right. I know, but then he said, you know, Mark Wahlberg used to be Marky Mark, and I just started laughing.
Like, that's not the route I'm going. I'm good with Steve-O.
Yeah, I mean,
How many people did, Ebro was just joking, he came in here and was like, you guys, we used to say you stole our radio stuff. How many different people over the years have...
yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's been that many accusations of us really stealing people's ideas. I don't think that we ever stole anything, but
There are other people in the same lane though who maybe
well, yeah,
excel.
and what I hear more often is like, oh, dude, like I you know, I did the same thing, you know, like I always you know, I always did the crazy stuff, but I just didn't film it, and it's just like, oh, okay, well.
But fam, I'm gonna tell you this right now. First of all, I will say this: I did feel that Tom Green opened a major door as far as exposing that to mainstream television.
Sure.
But I will say this. Tom Green was more the father of obnoxiousness. You're more the father of doing things that I would just literally never do. Yeah. And there are cats saying, you went far. You went to a degree that the average person who did stunts would look at some of the things you did and be like, this guy's out of his gourd.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when Tom Green was promoting his Freddie Got Fingered movie on the Howard Stern show. I think that's what it was. And Howard Stern was saying, dude, like, how much do you resent these Jackass guys for coming in? And Tom Green was very quick to say, like, hey, bite your tongue, Howard. These guys were doing exactly what they're doing for years before I ever showed up on MTV, you know?
Yeah.
And I love Tom Green, man. I'm actually doing shows with him where we're like double headlining. We just did like three months in a row.
Oh, that'll be a good show.
In Vegas,
That'll
yeah.
be wacky. I've seen Tom Green. I've opened up for Tom Green.
Yeah, Tom Green's really funny, man. He's really funny.
What do you do?
You know,
What's your shtick like on stage?
I do. I just like filthy comedy, and then I do some stunts at the end of the show.
Oh, you
know?
do?
Yeah.
In comedy clubs?
Yeah.
How crazy are the stunts? Well, how far do you go?
Like, it's more like, I don't know. I just teach everybody how to get drunk for free with this fucking awesome bar trick. I can say fucking.
Yeah, you're good. You teach people to get drunk for free?
Yeah. You know, it's like I've got like the world's greatest bar trick. It's nothing really like super crazy.
You don't like staple your balls to a desk or anything like that?
Not anymore, no. Like, I mean, I would. I have no problem with stapling my balls, you know? Like, I'm happy to do that. But the thing is that in the comedy...
I'm happy to do that.
But in the comedy clubs, like, you know, you're doing, like, 6 shows per weekend. So you got to kind of, and especially when you're stapling your nuts to your leg, because there's 2 holes that go into your ball bag, there's 2 holes that come out of your ball bag, and then there's 2 more holes that go into your leg. So each staple is 6 holes.
Have you done that many times?
6 shows.
Yeah, and
6 holes.
the first time I stapled my ball sack, you know, I was like, how am I going to make this funny? So I stapled my ball sack to both legs, and I called it the butterfly, right? It didn't look shit like a butterfly at all, but that's 12 holes. And so then I was thinking, like, you know, how am I, you know, I got to figure out how to do this, like, you know, so with less holes. So I mashed my wiener into itself, right? And I pulled my scrotum over the whole deal and stapled it to my stomach. Called it the turtle.
That's so much easier. That's so much easier.
Yeah, but it doesn't hold unless you're like in a headstand.
Okay, here's what I realize a great lane we need to go down with Steve-O. I realize a great lane we need to go down. We talk about race a lot on this show because there's me too and our other two co-hosts, or everyone else in the room is black besides us. So everyone's always asking, what's up with white? And I always get the questions. What's up with white dudes doing gay ass shit? You are a great person to talk. He's the father of this.
Let me tell you what my boy said, right? I went on a road trip with this comedian, Andrew Schultz, right?
Okay.
And we went to the bathroom at a gas station. I said, I'm going to go in the stall because I know how you white boys do. And he goes, yo, whatever's good as long as there's no penetration. He's like, I can go stand behind you behind the urinal and jiggle on you. I'm like, nah.
That's a good question, man. And I'm sure you guys heard of like the crazy story that went down at the Rock the Bells show like many years ago. It was
do you know this?
Dude, this is the craziest.
Ebro does. Go ahead. Tell us.
It's the fucking craziest story.
I think it ties into the story.
All right. I want to
Right. Okay. Well, what it was like, the Wu-Tang was headlining this show, right? And I showed up. I showed up like early afternoon. I'm just drinking all day long. This is in like 2006, like right before Jackass #2 came out. So like. I remember like Wu-Tang shows up. I'm in the press room, right? And I barge into this interview that Meth and RZA are doing. And I jump in there and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, during the ODB tribute, you know, I'm gonna get butt naked and I'm gonna like whip my dick and balls like back and forth and then like catch them like, you know, like but in like a mangina, you know, and then I'm gonna be in the mangina and I'm gonna do a standing back flip. It's the double back flip and I'm gonna do it to like, you know, and Meth and RZA are like, they're like kind of laughing like hey, you know, and then later, Meth comes up to me. He goes, "Dude, you can't do that, dude. They're gonna kick your ass." And I'm all drunk. I'm like, "Let them kick my ass, dude. That's what ODB would want, dude. You know." And so like, so then there it is. You know, like it's the time. You know, and like I'm on the stage. They got ODB's mom there, and you know, and like they're doing this whole thing. All of a sudden, Meth like. He like introduces me to ODB's mom, and then he just like hands me the mic, and so I'm like,
he still handed you the mic.
He handed me the mic, and so I'm like saying this crowd's like huge, and I'm saying like yeah, you know, when I was locked up in LA County Jail, you know, I was in protective custody. They told me like, don't worry, you know, you're in ODB's cell. He's always in here, they said. So I felt like, you know, I had this connection with ODB because I felt like we were cellmates. I'm telling the story. So I'm like, now I'm gonna do this thing. So I do it. I get totally naked, and I had the footage. Dude. It's really crazy, dude. Like
you got stark naked.
I got on stage. I got completely naked. Completely naked.
See, here's the thing.
And I'm flipping. I do the whole thing I described. I flip my balls back and forth, catch it. Now on the video footage, you can see like it's a pretty light mood. People are laughing. Like all the the everybody on stage like
the white people are laughing. The white people.
Well, I mean, it didn't. When it happened, like you know, it wasn't like real crazy. And then I did it, and then I got dressed again. I gave ODB's mom a hug. They started playing like Shimmy Ya, like Brooklyn Zoo, like the 2 songs, right? And everything's cool. And then after 2 songs, all of a sudden, I'm still on the stage. I'm thinking I'm pretty cool, you know. Got away with, you know, like
I can't believe I did it.
I didn't even feel like I got away with it. Just like this is cool. I kind of felt like I'm the man. Then all of a sudden, like whap, you know, like I get just grabbed by the neck by Raekwon, right? And he just straight drags my ass, just drags me by my neck to the middle of the stage. He goes, yo, I don't appreciate that, or you know, whatever. He's like my brother, you know, is not here to defend himself from your shit, you know. He's like, and he's still holding me by the neck, and he's like, and you're gonna apologize, or I'm gonna break your face, and I don't care if I go to jail. He didn't even get all that out. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it was. I mean, and to be honest,
why is that the tribute to ODB?
Why I would like to know why that was. That is a good tribute.
Everybody would love if you did a tribute. Everybody would love if you went on stage and shout out ODB.
Well, you know, like.
Why getting naked is the tribute?
It's a good question, and I would have to say that the answer is that like in my mind, that was the most outrageous shit that I was capable of doing. You know.
Right.
I will say this: who better to do that tribute for than ODB?
I understand that.
I
understand the mind, the place of mind where you had to do that, but.
Here's another good reason why, and this is what an interesting thing. I remember I did a show with I was on the same bill. It was shortly before ODB died. I want to say this happened. I believe it was July of 2004. And it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom here in New York City, and I was doing my tour, you know, like my show, and ODB was in another room, and I wanted to like meet him and tell him my jail story, be like, yeah, there, you know, whatever, and get a photo with ODB. So I go into the room he's performing in, thinking that he isn't on yet, but he was on. I come into this room, ODB's on the stage. I mean, he's got his pants down, his fucking dick out. He's smoking a huge blunt of PCP and like passing it to the audience, right? And he's like, I mean, I couldn't even believe this was I thought it was the greatest shit I've ever seen, you know? And he's on there, he's still rapping, you know? I made like 3 little videos with my camera. And in the first one, he's like he's smoking the PCB, he's sharing it with people. The second video, he's like rapping, but he's like kind of hunched over. And then the third video, he's just sitting on the drum riser, just out, still holding the mic, still holding the PCB, just out, you know. And I'm like, this is the coolest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life, you know. So maybe that made me think like,
that must have been
this does ask a greater question that people always ask. There is something about, now with most people it happens in their teenage years. With you guys, you made a living out of it, and it was true of my friends too. What is it about teenage white boys who aren't gay? Like, let me ask you right now, straightforward, because I think people will be interested.
Sure.
Black people, is there any bit of you that's gay?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay, right, that's what I assumed.
Right.
Yet, we do shit, and I've done it in my past too, that if people who are not white saw it, they'd think it was just, you could not be gay and do it.
Right.
So what is the motivation behind getting naked with your friends all the time and doing weird homoerotic shit?
We just find it funny, you know, and I think that it's just fucking funny, man, you know. I remember too, like I had this show. I mean, I know that like with the Jackass guys, I think that like I like to believe that on some kind of level that we're like doing something noble, like trying to like confront and rid the world of homophobia, you know, make the world a better place.
It sounds good when you say it like that.
Right. But really, I think we just think it's fucking funny, you know, like, but, you know, I did this TV show. It was called Dr. Steve. It was very short-lived. It was like kind of like it went down before I went to rehab. And the first episode we filmed, it was like we had this bit at the end of the show where it was going to be like I feel like a fart art. Right, where like we did like enemas full of paint, right? And so we shot basically, we're shooting paint up our ass, then standing over like a canvas, you know, and then we're like shitting the paint onto the canvas, thinking like
beautiful.
This is
that sounds
fucking
beautiful.
Great art, you know. And one of the contestants, well, actually the only contestant who was supposed to do who's supposed to do the fart art was this black kid from like South Central or whatever, you know. And he's like, yo, dude, I'm not doing that.
It's just not happening.
He's like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like I'm thinking like I can pressure this kid. I'm thinking like I'm fucking Steve. I can pressure. I can pressure this kid into doing it. He's like, dude, no, you know. And the kid literally walked off the show. Right. And I was like, I was like not even quite.
Go find me a white kid who'll do this weird shit.
Yo, I went to a white high school like the last 3 years of high school in Long Island, and yo, I would see some shit like at a keg party. First of all, I was like, why is there no music here? What's going on? They're just drinking. And then they would start getting naked. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Where are the no chicks are getting naked, just dudes.
Out.
Didn't get it.
Out.
Didn't get it. But I will say this. You guys, during your run, must have gotten such an obscene amount of tail for all the gay shit you were doing. Like, it was the gayest shit you've ever seen, but they were getting a lot of chicks off.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. You know, I genuinely believe that if you show up on TV and movies, you know, like I talk about this a lot in my shows, man. Chicks don't give a, there are chicks out there, if they've seen you on TV at all, they automatically want to fuck you.
And you've experienced that.
Sure. They don't give a fucking, they don't care if you're covered from head to toe in shit, you know. Like they don't.
There's just something about it. They just
So weird.
They don't care if you're covered from head to toe shit that day.
They can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, what
Is it the bragging rights of it? Or?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Did you take it a lot?
Wait, take it. What do you mean?
No.
Whoa. When it was offered, what do you accept?
Sure.
Sorry, you
accept the offer.
Sure. You make it seem like I've retired from that shit.
Oh, sorry. That gets your past. Like when you went to rehab, you stopped fucking groupies. Sorry. You didn't go to groupie rehab.
He's got an appointment next week to take his tats off. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Still Steve-O.
You know, I heard Gerard Butler on Howard Stern recently, and he was talking about, like, Howard's saying the same kind of line of questioning, like, how much pussy do you get? And then with a straight fucking face, Gerard Butler's trying to say, you know, like,
I heard this.
At a certain point, he says, you know, at a certain point, you know, like, that just loses its appeal. I'm like, dude, crack doesn't lose its fucking appeal, and neither does pussy, man. You know, the more pussy you get, the more pussy you need. Let's face the facts.
So it hasn't gotten boring.
No, this shit doesn't lose its fucking appeal.
And hold on, and are you still able to get?
He's
literally laughing.
Gerard Butler right now, like
This son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And you've been getting it for what, a decade?
Well, I mean, dude, I was pretty, like, gnarly.
You did all right before you even got famous.
Well, yeah, that was like the fucking whole purpose of me learning all these tricks. You know, it's like, it's why anybody, like, you know. And I was talking to Chris Angel just like last week, you know, and he's like, dude, something like asking me about like being sober, like, you know, like how much did I'm like, dude, I never did stunts. Or tricks or whatever the fuck I did. I never did it because I was you know, wasted on drugs and alcohol. I did it because I'm a fucking attention whore, you know? And like, you know, every living organism has this innate urge to be loved. I just have a stronger urge to be loved, you know? A really fucking strong urge to be loved, you know?
And
the shit doesn't lose its appeal.
No, it's good. Especially from women.
Exactly. Listen,
yeah.
He's speaking truth. Right?
No, he's being. Who got the most in the heyday? Who got the most? Out of you guys, out of the crew?
Like the most quality? You know?
Both. How about quality and quantity? Separate questions.
Like did Johnny's go higher when he went into movies? Like did he get like a higher level of woman?
I think like Johnny's pussy potential was always pretty high.
It was always the highest.
Yeah.
You say that.
Sure. Of course. But I remember like when I drove out to L.A., God, I'm gonna fucking bury myself right now. But
bury yourself.
When I drove out to L.A., I remember I fucking I didn't have no place to live. I was living out of my car. I drove cross country. I get there to the Jackass TV office, and like to like sort of pass my time, I'm thinking like, okay, now I'm really getting now it's starting, you know. So what I wanted to do is figure out like how many fucking chicks I've had sex with, you know? And so I'd sit around the office with this piece of paper, and I'd just start writing them down, you know? Like, I would not write down a fucking name unless I was sure that it was a confirmed kill, you know? Like, there was no, so like,
Ebro just nodded, this look of, I respect,
you got a list?
like he does the same, he's like, confirmed kill.
Yeah.
Need that.
There's no speculation, there's no I think there might, this is a definite, you know?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and people are asking me, like, what are you doing, Steve? I'm like, oh, I'm calculating my SPA, you know, my slay point average, you know?
I love it. Slay point average. Yes, Ebro. Ebro has to join for this conversation.
Here he goes. Yo, this is his world right here.
So, yo, did you have to, like, when you go back in your memory, you don't remember their names, right?
Right.
So you got to go to...
Stripper with baby on bed.
Right. So and then you got to go to the city, though. You got to go, wait,
yeah,
I was
sure.
Oh, yeah.
In car, in Boca.
Exactly.
In car, in Boca. These are real ones, I can tell, by the way.
Yeah,
I have one on my list. It says, Detroit, sister of dude with alligator boots.
Sister of dude with
alligator boots.
So what happened when you made this, when you should calculate? Did you learn anything about yourself?
Well, I learned that I had 72 confirmed kills.
Before it even started?
Before it even started, yeah.
Before the
Anything.
first Jackass?
Well,
like
yeah, I mean, this
Before
was
he
like...
rang. Before he
Wow.
rang.
I think it was 72,
Oh,
yeah.
so there's no way that list still exists.
No, when I lost a piece of paper, I'm really bummed. I would like go for a little stretch and then come back to the list
like,
and update it, you know? I remember like going to Cancun for like 2 weeks, coming back with like 10 more kills, you know?
I think I have one of those.
Oh, Saif, we know you have it.
No, but I think it's hidden in a piece, like a record, like a vinyl.
I know
case.
you.
Yeah,
Yes, it
There's
is.
two things I wish I didn't lose, man. I have my fucking slate, my slay sheet. And I remember when I first started like smoking pot and like taking acid, you know, I made a decision to become a druggie, you know, like when
I'm going in. You went in.
Yeah, and so I started keeping a journal, and in the beginning it was like I kind of wrote my life story a little bit, saying like
when you were getting high, you mean?
Well, no, but like when I just started, I wasn't like high at the time, but I was like, now I'm starting to do drugs, and I hear that's not so good for your memory, so I'm kind of writing everything down, so, and I kept this journal, you know. I remember like it was November 3rd, 1990, and when I lost my virginity, it was a Saturday, fucking in England. They have Guy Fawkes Days on November 5th. All these fireworks are going on.
It was in
England?
Yeah, I went to high school in England, and I remember I wrote November 3rd, 1990. And that entry I wrote, I have finally been relieved of the burden of virginity.
Wow.
You know, like what? It's just so funny how like there's all this insecurity tied up in it, and that's like why we need to fuck so much.
Do you go to therapy?
That and because it's awesome. But
the two of those things. Did you go to therapy?
No.
Really? Because he seems therapized, doesn't he?
I tried it. I tried it briefly when I was in rehab, and I was like, "Fuck this."
You didn't like it, but you did rehab, and you seem like you've gotten very honest about all of your issues, though.
I've always been honest, man.
Yeah.
I think it always was, but it was like it was hidden under like yelling and smashing on the floor and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he was always honest, like from when.
But yeah, I would update that.
I wonder what his
How'd you
slay
go
shit
from
is.
Pussy to therapy.
Me?
Yeah,
Because he just said something.
You mean
like,
his
we're
subject?
talking about pussy and slaying shit and getting fucked, and he goes, "Son,
That
you go
therapy.
to therapy."
I'm glad he worked that out. Why do you always have to go so hard? Why can't you just?
I just wanted to know.
You always have to go so hard with it. Shut the fuck up! Why are you so antagonistic?
Steve-O, they don't.
You need some
we've
therapy.
realized in the last couple weeks, we've like finally pinpointed that they don't like us around here. Me and him are.
Yeah.
They're
They hate us.
You know, how about this? This is what it is. And
Okay.
I told him. We came up with it.
He's the anti-us, by the
We
way.
love you. You're no fun.
Yeah, we're no
We're
fun.
no fun.
There's people around, I'm sure you know, that you love them, family members, whatever, but you invite them nowhere. He barely likes to drink.
No, barely.
He
That's nice.
just wants to talk about hip-hop debates and shit. Like, motherfuckers want to get fucked up, smoke some weed, get some pussy. They're both married now. Nobody wants to hang out with two married dudes. Like, who wants to do that?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Steve-O
dude.
likes us, and I think he resents what
Yeah,
you're saying.
like,
You want to hang out with us big time. We're going to go out later and staple our balls.
Steve-O's gonna yell.
I'm just saying, like, I think it's really, there's so much truth in it, you know, like what's up with white boys and their faggot ass shit.
That's the realest shit you ever said.
That's the realest shit.
It's a really valid
Well,
thing.
no,
you know?
we do think about valid, interesting
and-
things. But we're
And,
boring.
and that whole story from Rock the Bells is like the quintessential moment
Man.
where the white boy
Worlds
faggot ass shit.
But let me tell my Steve-O story, right? Because it ties into.
This
his
is a good
story.
one. I know the story. You
Okay.
may
First
not
of all,
remember it or like it.
Steve-O knows I hate him a lot because we were on Wildin' Out together.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
I went to
yeah.
Wildin' Out. I was super excited. Got my red T-shirt. I was on the red team. I'm going on stage. Boom. They introduced me. Crowd clap.
You're going to shine.
Then they're like, yo. And then on the black team, Steve-O. I was like, I'm not on this show anymore.
Finish.
He comes.
How did he start?
The ironing board, right? We had to they gave us the ironing board to like do something with this ironing board. So my team picked up the ironing board and made it like a shield. And we like stomped like through like a tribe in the jungle. We were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was
All
like-
right. What's Steve-O do?
They gotta laugh. Steve-O just sets up the ironing board, comes out, jumps on it, smashes it face first. I was like, I'm just gonna be over here.
It's over.
I remember that. Like I remember that pretty fondly. That
day?
That day. I mean, I was
Were you fully sober that day?
fuck no.
No,
man.
he attached a car battery to his ball.
But he would have done that
I
sober. You would have done
Yeah, I
that
did. It was my balls. Yeah, I was thinking it was my nipples, but yeah.
the balls. So then what happened?
I went home.
And that was the end of the day.
I had like one scene on the show. Oh no! And then afterwards,
Ooh.
see, it got dicey in the parking lot
Do you remember that?
because everybody loves Steve-O, Steve-O, Steve-O.
But Steve-O was wilding.
We go in the parking lot after the show, and you start throwing around the N-word.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, but this. Let's be-
Steve-O,
let's-
talk to me.
let's
Clean
be-
it
let's
up.
be-
You got a chance.
Clean it up.
He's speaking for black people.
We
Let's
might
be
have
clear.
to do Smackfest right
No.
now.
Let's be clear. Anytime I ever threw on the N-word was specifically I would
There's
say
no reason.
Well, let
No,
him explain
I would
his
say-
reason.
No, he wasn't saying you're an N-word.
No, I would say specifically. I was trying to like
Don't
to.
do it.
I was
Not gonna do
I
it.
was saying, hey, I don't have a racist bone in my body.
Right,
I like to
that's exactly what
consider
it is.
myself the N-word. Because here's my philosophy, right? I was saying,
It just diffused the whole thing.
yeah, I was
You
saying,
wanted it to get worse. You wanted to go.
no, I was
About
I
to
said,
turn up and have a
no,
moment.
no, I said I don't have a racist bone in my body, but I like to consider myself the N-word for the specific purpose. I said I believe that if we can just take the color out of this word to the point where like a stupid white kid can be considered that, then all of a sudden this word is no longer a weapon that can be used to
make
like
people feel bad.
to hurt
Everything
people.
he's saying is he said that day. Everything.
Yeah.
It was a lot yellier.
Who was in his grill
that
about
guy.
it?
Well, no, but you said somebody called you it, or like I think it was somebody from Wu-Tang. Was it Meth? Did you know Meth back then, or?
No, I think it was probably Who Kid or something. Because I remember this came, and that.
Oh,
that
it was Who Kid and
Who
50.
can
Yeah.
definitely
yeah.
get you in trouble.
Yeah.
That you know, and the thing, I to this day, I believe that the whole philosophy of that is sound. I think that that's
No,
great.
it is.
You know,
It absolutely
I'll
is.
validate that. I'll validate
Yeah,
that.
I think
But
it's good.
And I'll even go as far as to say, look, if we're hanging around each other, I might be like, yo, Steve-O's my name.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then I'll say Steve-O.
Don't say without
that's
me.
not cool to say
Don't
that.
go out there.
Don't go out there.
Do not try this at home or by yourself. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, you know, and that would always be a measure of how fucked up I was if I started saying that, because I was trying to be like controversial but cool, but like whatever, you know.
No, you were making the same point, but it was just like a little more loud. And you're like, whoever gave you the pass was like, so and so said I'm an N-word. I'm an N-word.
And they're like, oh.
His handler,
I don't know that I don't know if that's if it was I was ever working on a pass, but
He's like,
I don't know that I was ever.
I never submitted my
filed for
application.
Who's the lady with the red hair that
But
used to?
I don't, you know who it was? It was Fame from MOP. I was telling him this.
That's a pretty good one.
No, I'm not saying he gave me a pass. No,
but
no,
if he did, it would be a good one.
If he did.
He didn't
It's a
give me a
good
pass.
one.
He said, Steve-O, I understand what you're trying to do, but stop.
Sounds about right.
That's right. The pass only works if you're with the person who gives you the pass in that circle.
You know how many passes I've turned down? I've been offered them a million times. The guys, they just don't hold. They don't.
They hold no water because
Right.
you get caught out in the wrong scenario.
It doesn't work. I know what it's like.
Nobody wants to.
God, you must have made some random connections over the years.
It was, dude, I was, you know, I don't know. Before I went to, those last final years before I went to rehab were colorful. You know, you could tell how wasted I was because George W. Bush was the president, right? I was like...
or so I was told.
Right. As soon as I was to a certain level of drunken high, then I would just be searching for paparazzi so that I could start threatening the president's life and promising to kill him with my bare hands. Like,
And you never got arrested for that?
no, I never did.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's bad.
I know that and the N-word.
Fame
Those are my
from
two
MOP.
things.
Your two? Those were your go-tos?
Fame from MOP when he
I would
do
actually,
that.
I'll go on record saying I might encourage the N-word and not the other.
right. It's better than the alternative.
I mean, and I don't know. I did that many years ago. I to this day I believe that I believe that the George W. Bush administration would have been embarrassed to admit that they were afraid of Steve-O.
We have a major concern. They show a picture of him in his ribbed T-shirt.
Yo, were you? Oh, you were there when I was hosting MTV, and I introduced you to Al Gore.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, and I told it, dude, I always had Tourette syndrome.
That's a good
Yo, they were like, oh,
I just call it straight up Tourette syndrome. I just say the fucking last shit you should ever say to someone, you know? I told Al Gore, it's like, man, because he had lost the fucking, the race with George W. Bush. My dad said, you know, like, we watched The Inconvenient Truth together, you know? And, like, it's my dad said, you know, man, if only... you had been that articulate during the fucking presidential race. You know? You know? All right, like you took some speech giving class, you know, that would have been really fucking helpful before.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he seemed like he had no personality before that, right?
Yeah, he popped a little bit more.
He popped after, yeah. And then like his daughter was there. She was hot. His daughter.
The Gore daughters are awesome.
So I have one question.
Sure.
All the shit your body's been through.
Yeah.
Do you experience any pain?
Yeah, what is the pain situation?
Because
I'm
you
in
used to be able to
pretty
do drugs and then it's nothing
Yeah.
hurts.
I'm in pretty good shape. I get some back pain, you know, but overall, yeah, I have an esophageal condition. It's called Barrett's esophagus, and it's like straight up like pre-cancer, you know, from just bad living. But now I'm like fucking living pretty healthy, so it probably won't go full cancer. I don't know.
You're hopeful.
I'm having they're looking at it pretty close, you know. But that's like
so
my worst thing.
they
My
basically
esophagus
said,
is
your
fucked.
esophagus is fucked up.
My esophagus is fucked
From drugs?
from like professionally vomiting fucking like every day, from alcohol, vomiting, smoking.
You were probably
like
just a
drugs.
combination of things that were
In and out.
I can-
blowjobs,
But never any man part.
No, not a dick. And if it was a dick, it was a joke, so it doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't gay.
I'm just kidding. He
Well,
didn't
it's
come.
not gay if your bros are
A
filming
deep throated
Hey, if your bros are filming
a
it, remember
deep throated Bam's cock. It wasn't.
It
gay.
didn't count.
It's not gay.
How how tight are you still with the gang?
We're good, man. We're tight. We crack each other up on text. We don't like hang out that much, but
Film? Fuck, like I'm tired of hanging out with you guys. I hung out with you guys.
no,
every day.
it's not that. You know, like whatever. Like, see, there's shit that brings us together and we'll hang out, or it's like, oh, dude, you know, you got fucking the guys have to hear about this, whatever.
It must have been fucking rough when your boy passed away.
Yeah, of course, man.
That was. Were you guys tight at the time?
Sure. We all came together. You know.
So and people, there was a lot of questions then. That was the ultimate roast question of when what's her face made that
Amy
joke.
Schumer.
But the joke wasn't about
It
Ryan.
wasn't about Ryan at
It was
all.
about you.
Right, it was-
So how did you feel? You weren't offended.
I didn't take it personally, man. Like, I didn't, you know. I thought that she was like the funniest person on there. Patrice O'Neal is probably the funniest.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Patrice.
Amy Schumer was fucking
I
hilarious.
saw her
And-
like 2 nights before that. She came to a comedy club I was at to test those jokes.
Sure.
And that joke, everybody was like, ooh.
And she was like, I got to do it still.
She's like, it's gonna, cause it for this room, whatever.
I can
for a roast,
relate completely to what to what she went through with that, because I had a fucking joke in that roast, and thank God they edited it out.
How bad was it?
It was really fucking bad, and like it was really fucking bad. And, I mean, it was a funny joke.
But it was
you
just
know?
too bad. Who was it about?
It was too bad. It was and I remember waking up the morning after that roast with my fucking face like I had 2 black eyes, a broken nose. My
Didn't
face
you ask
is-
Mike Tyson to punch you or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I broke my nose on Mike Tyson's fist, and
Because he asked.
yeah,
Crazy.
I just had him hold his fist out with a locked arm, and I dove across the stage face first.
Oh my God.
And face first into his fist. I broke my nose, so I got 2 black eyes, a broken nose. I turned on my computer, and my whole fucking Facebook is just fuck you. I hope you rot in hell. You know, like the whole
To
thing.
you?
Yeah, because there was some blogger from Entertainment Weekly that went to the roast and was just like
And wrote
sort
the
of
line even though it didn't get aired.
just live blogging, right?
Oh.
And Rhode Island is a pretty small place, right? Like, so the fucking so my joke was, I can't, but I'm gonna repeat it, but
It's not. This isn't to be funny. This is just for us to learning the story.
It's just, this is just me relating.
And he already knows it's horrible.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, there's no way around. It's funny, you know. But
By the way, hold on real quick. No N-word or threatening to kill the president in this?
right.
Okay, good. Go ahead. You're fine.
So I said the dais is like the panel of roasters, right? Like who are these fucking people? You know, like who? Like I'm looking at the panel, like who are these people, man? The last time this many nobodies got roasted, at least Great White was playing.
Oh my God! That's about the club where all the people burned up at the Great White concert.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, it was a
my God.
terrible.
In Rhode
fucking-
Island.
Oh, yeah.
In that club where all the
yeah.
people died at the. Oh my God! How it is funny and horrible.
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 I fucking, I'm not stoked. It's not my style of comedy anyway, you know?
No.
I remember this local guy. I'll give him credit for fucking writing this. This guy from here in New York, Gino Bisconti. He was fucking like, he fucking emailed me this joke. He's like, dude, this joke. And I'm like, I read it. I read it in the email. I go, dude, I'm not fucking saying that. I'm not even going there. So then I'm hanging out with Jeff Ross, right? And I'm like, dude, this guy Gino Bisconti gave me this joke. And like, I'm not fucking saying it, dude. It's just too.
Oh, great! You told him. Of course, he told you to do it. Right?
It's too fucked up. So I tell Jeffrey Ross, I go, it's just too fucked up. I go, if you want it, you can have it. It's yours. He goes, dude, you have to fucking tell that joke. You have to. And I'm like, So we're going around doing the same deal. We're going around to comedy clubs trying out the. Every time I told that fucking joke in the comedy club when we were practicing the jokes, whole fucking place cracks up. The whole place cracks up. People are coming up to me after like, dude, that fucking great white joke's fucking, dude, that's a fucking funny show ever. Like, and like I got talked into doing it. So I do
started
it.
feeling yourself.
I'm feeling it, and so I
TV's
do it.
different though.
So then I do it at the roast, and just one person in Rhode Island read the blog. And all this they're fucking posting the clip. There's somebody was videotaping when the fire started, and I clicked on the fucking clip and I'm watching it. I was like, oh, I'm just fucking dying, dude. I'm fucking like, and I'm emailing people, please cut that fucking joke out. Please, I'm begging you, you know? And like, so I just,
and when she made the joke about you, it was basically about Ryan Dunpass. It was like she wished it would have been you.
Right. She just said, hey, I'm really sorry that your friend just died. And I'm thinking what everybody else is thinking. Man, I wish it was Steve-O.
That's not that bad. When she started saying it, I like tensed up and I was like, uh-oh.
It was.
But then it was not about you.
You know, and I mean, Jeffrey Ross had a very similar joke, you know.
That involved Ryan also?
Yeah, he said it was more subtle and it was more clever. You know, he said, you know, I'm you know, regretfully or whatever, you know, really sadly, the Jackass family has just had a major tragedy. Steve-O started doing stand-up.
Right. That's a little better. Right.
That's like really
you don't have to say
it. It's actually the exact same joke.
It's the exact same thing. It's a misdirect.
Take out the death part.
Right.
Move it around a little bit.
Yeah, and so I mean, whatever it is, I didn't think that the Amy Schumer joke where she said, you know, Ryan Dunn died was. Yeah, I didn't think it was that funny, but power to her, man. She's fucking hilarious.
Did you spoke to her afterwards?
You know what? I fucking I went and talked a bunch of shit after that, right? Because like I had got like
you were mad at the time.
Well, I wasn't particularly. I wouldn't have been pissed one way or another. But after the show aired, then Jeffrey Ross was reaching out to me. He reached out to me and he said, "Hey, Amy Schumer's like getting death threats. Can you step up and do something like to like fucking like make this go away, make it calm down?"
What a sad state of affairs when Steve-O was being called.
Right.
You were the ambassador to make peace.
He was like, "Can you just put something out, post something online saying like, hey, everybody back off?" And I wrote him a bunch of like funny like tweets, you know, just like between me and him. But then I went on there and I said, "Hey, you know, Amy Schumer like feels terrible. She it wasn't, you know." I just wrote, you know, like I understand what it's like when you say something that you know that you regret and like just like fucking she's cool, we're cool. You know, and then where I got like kind of bent out of shape was when after that, and I go up and step and say, and then I saw something on one of these fucking gossip websites, Radar Online, when the bit was like, Amy Schumer, not sorry at all, would go back and do it again. Like, and it's her quote. It's like, and I'm saying like, how can you ask me to like calm everybody down and then go and stand by it?
Right.
And that was where I got kind of bent out of shape, and I wound up.
Beating her up.
I wound up talking, you know, and I waited like 6 months. And then all of a sudden, it just all came out on this random interview in Billings, Montana.
Perfect.
Well, you saved it for the big time.
Right. So I start going off.
You gave that guy gold. For what?
I start going off in Billings, Montana. The guy's fucking videotaping everything, and then they fucking put that out, and so it goes on there, and then they're calling Amy Schumer to get a fucking her comment on me going off, and nothing I said in my rant in Billings, Montana was fucking funny or fucking cool and so I actually wound up calling someone and said, "Hey, Joe, I want to reach out to Amy Schumer." And I reached out to her, and I was like, I got on the phone with her, and I just told her, I said, "Hey, I just talked all this shit about you. I know you know, and it just wasn't funny, and it wasn't rad, and like, I just don't think anything that you did was wrong, and I fucking, you know." So I just called to apologize. We had this rad conversation, and it was fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I think she was just, as a comedian, I think she was. You don't want to apologize for a joke as much as it hurts.
I respect
because
that
then every comedian is gonna just start to domino effect.
I
think she was just trying to stand by.
I respect that 100% too, and yeah, I was wrong.
But I understand. I would be a little bit annoyed about helping to bail someone out, and
Right.
then they'd say they wouldn't do it
came
again.
from someone else.
And then
we
they
don't know if she
reinforce it.
asked.
Right, that's true.
Did
that's
she
true.
ask Jeff Ross? We don't know. Maybe he just stepped up.
Because he's down with the roast and shit. He just wanted to clean it up.
I don't know one way or another. And in a sense too, you ask for help, you ask for a bailout, and then you reinforce what you're being. But whatever, dude. I understand all sides of it, and I got all the respect in the world for Amy Schumer. I think she's a fucking great comic. It's her. It's her fucking time. She's got like 3 TV shows, the special.
Yeah. No, she's about to be
She's
out
on
of here.
fucking
She's
fire.
out of here.
And power to her, man. If this gets to her,
Don't make another great white joke, by the way.
I know. Dude, I'm not good.
No, I got
she's on fire. So.
That's not my fucking style. And thank God I didn't even fucking write the goddamn joke.
I got in trouble on the radio for saying something once, and I would go to the comedy clubs, and comedians were mad at me, like, don't ever apologize for a joke.
Right.
Don't ever. I'm like, listen, I understand what you're saying if I said it on stage, which was a stupid joke anyway. On stage, it's cool.
You're not going to throw
I have
out
a corporate.
No,
but I have. No, it's not even. It wasn't even.
It wasn't funny.
It's a joke like that. It's not even well written like yours.
Okay.
It was just something happened, and I was like, but I have a corporate job, and I want to keep my job.
So apologies are
and I
necessary
hurt
in the
people's
corporate world.
feelings.
Well, yeah.
I
And at the same time, with the fucking cell phone cameras going everywhere, every little fucking thing. It's a sad state of affairs, but comedians are apologizing fucking left and right.
Because you said Patrice was on that show. He's the one that called me first and spoke to me for like an hour and a half.
Never apologized? Yeah.
No, he's like, you got a job, man. He's like, do what you got to do to keep your job, man. He's like, you didn't do anything wrong. He's like, people are going to try to get their attention and get something from it. He's like, but no, you told a joke, man. You get paid to tell jokes.
The realest shit is the amount of people who just wanted to get attention on his back. That's the realest shit.
Yeah,
like
the
joke
was
the joke. The joke.
Yeah, the joke probably was in bad taste, like a lot of jokes are.
Sure.
But when people seize the moment and they want to get on your back to create a name for themselves, that shit gets crazy. But what I do want to talk about, and I don't know if you guys know this, and I don't even know if it's true. I was watching Tosh.0. Don't ask me why I was watching that program. He's pretty funny sometimes. But he said on there, or was doing something about people who had money. I think you're worth somewhere in the tune
I
of
was
like
gonna go there.
$3 or $4 million.
Yeah, it has to be.
$5 million.
And then I heard about this, and then it was saying Bam's got like 45.
Right.
So the joke was like the disparage.
Well, it was, you should feel like shit about yourself because this guy's worth $5 million. That was the first joke. Then the second part of the joke was the disparity between Bam's worth and your worth.
Disparity, that's the word. Yeah.
Is it true? You worth $5 million? I mean, look, I feel like shit that I didn't start stapling balls to my leg earlier in life, so that I could be worth $5 million right now.
I think that the number at the time was the number on that show was 2.5. So you're giving me more credit than Tosh.0 did.
All right.
But we like to embellish.
Right.
True.
At the So, and I remember, because I remember hearing about that. I mean, it's fucking lame to even talk about money in the first place.
No, but I'm proud of you. I'm actually saying it because fuck Bam. I don't know him. I know you now. I think you're cool. I'm proud of you.
Well, thanks,
Good
man.
for you.
And it wouldn't, I remember at the time being like, fuck, dude, like, how did they fucking know that? And then I remember, like, really feeling like shit because of the Bam thing, I was like, fuck, because Bam came into it with like this pro skater.
Oh, right.
He's a pro
skateboarder.
Yeah, he's a pro skateboarder. So when Jackass hit, he already had the Bam Margera skateboards.
Right.
And so Jackass hits, Bam selling more skateboards than
he
Tony
already
Hawk.
had the stuff to sell.
Back when Tony Hawk was like still like really doing it. And so Bam had so many like sources of revenue, so many streams of revenue that just got jacked up on steroids when Jackass hit. That it probably makes sense.
Wait, he was already a pro skateboarder when you started Jackass.
He was already a pro skateboarder when we started Jackass. Yeah, and he basically self-produced these Camp Kill Yourself videos that merged with the videos that Knoxville and I were working on.
Wow.
And so he was because of that, he started out as a Jackass producer in his own right, as opposed to like schmuckhead on the fucking talent list, Mr. Below the Line, So
listen, I only brought that up to make us in this room feel like complete shit.
Well, I mean,
although I'll truth be told, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now.
5.
If we could go more than 5,
No,
less than 5, still good. I wouldn't do what he did to get the money though.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't. So if you asked me to be like, "Do you want to go be Steve-O?" Even though I respect the shit out of you, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna take what I."
You don't want to staple your balls.
I couldn't do it.
You do not want to create a turtle.
They did so many other little things too, like throughout the movies. And I was
those
just like,
fucking tests where they take the Q-tip and ram it down your fucking dick hole has to be fucking.
That's bad.
Worse.
Yeah,
Thank God
you
they
mean when
don't
you
have
get
to-
the clap or when you get gonorrhea and shit? And they got
Yeah.
anytime you're worried about your dick, they give you that swab. I've had a
I know,
couple
but they
times.
don't do that anymore.
They stopped the
They
swab.
do.
Yeah,
Well, they prick.
thank God I
They
just
prick.
started getting tested right after they stopped doing that shit.
Of course, you hadn't gotten tested before.
Oh, God.
What do they do now? They prick.
No, they just take it out of your urine. All you have to do is piss
Yeah,
in
you
a cup.
piss in a cup. But back in the day when I was getting the clap and shit, they used to have to put the swab down.
I got the
It's a
swab.
fucking Q-tip. It's a fucking
I had
Q.
it. You're not supposed to go in that way.
Right.
right.
So, dude, like, so you'll do that you'll pay to have that happen, but you won't staple your balls.
That's not
For
a
millions?
balls.
You won't
It's
staple
just
your
the
balls
skin.
for millions.
It's just the
It's
sack
the
around
skin.
the balls.
And
What do
you're
I-
Jewish. You already had
Yo,
some
you know
cut off.
you know how fast your ball sack heals? You've never
been-
cut your ball sack
Nah.
before?
It's like that. It's not.
Yo, I was manscaping just like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Please don't
and
do
I
the
had
motion. I'm good.
I was manscaping.
Manscaping.
You know what I'm saying? And the clipper like caught the skin of my ball sack and shit started bleeding, man.
And it healed.
Healed next day, no problem.
Unbelievable.
Right back at it.
Hey, well, this has been fun.
You know what? Listen, by the way, Steve-O's at Caroline's.
All weekend long. Well, you see, you won't even see balls though. Unfortunately, you're not gonna show balls, right?
It's unless you're sitting like on the in the wings, like
All
on the
right.
side.
Then you might see something flopping around.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yo, but don't hurt your ball sack at home.
Yeah,
I
don't
try
do
that.
that.
Out.
because I might.
Don't use the
There might be
N-word.
some
Don't
fucking
staple your
rock the
ball
bell
sack.
shit going down.
Yeah, you never know. Rock the Bells. Oh, you know what? I host Rock the Bells. I'm gonna bring you on stage and bring the balls back.
Yo, how many years ago was that?
That was in summer of 2006.
So you can have like a
7-year
anniversary of Steve-O at Rock the Bell.
Bring the balls back.
You know, I figured it out. The flipping the balls back and forth is called it's called a double back. You know.
By the way, I used to do that trick. I'm telling you, it's white boy business. Slapping the balls.
You know,
around.
you go like.
Yeah, that move. You've done that.
Chill. Why you all in my face with it though, man?
Steve, you need to stay in your seat, okay? You need to stay in your director's
But don't you
chair.
find that as you got older, it hurt to do that? I find the balls, it hurts a little bit.
It can be a little rough. But what I figured out is that you don't have to get completely naked. You can just strip down to your boxer shorts.
And still
strip down to your boxer shorts. You perform the double back. And then
you would
and then
catch
you
it.
pull- and then you catch
Into
it. It's a
mangina.
hands-free mangina.
Oh my God.
Hands-free.
Look, Mom,
And then-
no hits.
Yeah.
And no penis.
and then after you catch it, then you pull down your.
And then, but you're not showing anything.
Right.
You got
It's
the
called the
clean version.
double back.
That's how you're gonna make money.
I just gave away my
clean version.
The edited version.
I just gave away a stunt.
secret.
that I'm-
Oh, here goes
Oh,
Sipe.
Sipe's in now. Sipe's in. Welcome. Yo, thanks, Steve-O.